start right at the beginning. The Western Cape government's strategic plan for the next 5 years identifies exports as key to growing the Western Cape economy. So, when we set out 2 years ago to develop a unified exports brand for the province, not only was there strategic intent, but we also saw that there was a major shift in the way people are accessing products and services. So, in a world of faceless value chains, which is essentially, what it was, people were seeking authenticity, and this is around people, product, and place. So, this really where we started from when we began to develop the brief for the Made in the Cape campaign. But the challenge was twofold for us. The Western Cape is a largely services led economy. So, when we were putting together the exports brand, this needed to include both products and services under one umbrella, under one unified identity. And this is really was a large challenge for the team to see how we could put a unified message into market, one that the industry could also get behind. To avoid brand confusion and harness the power of the collective voice, a robust 360-degree campaign was developed. But that was not before we engaged with the industry itself. So, for the brand story and the supporting collateral to be effective, we needed the export councils, the industry itself, and various sort of source inputs to direct and co create the story and co create the brief and really start to unpack, what is it about the Cape that is unique? What are the unique selling points? And some of the USPs that came out of this were sustainability, innovation, quality, resilience. These were terms that resonated with everyone and actually is a brand promise that we can deliver here in the Cape. So it started to form how we created the collateral and what the message was that we were actually going to tell the world about ourselves. So once we started to engage with our industry, our export councils, the trade team, the marketing team here at Wesgro, it really was about connecting place to quality and connecting the Cape to quality. And that is how Made in the Cape essentially was born, to meet the growing trend around the holistic combination in an environment of soil, climate, topography, and the soil of the producer, essentially. So that's sort of where we started. The brief was then developed. We then needed to move to, what does this look like? What is a common identity or an icon that everyone can get behind, when we send our message into market? And the King Protea came out as the lead icon on the Made in the Cape campaign. And there's a bunch of reasons why this is symbolic for us, not just as the Cape, but as Team South Africa. The 5 elements of the Protea represent the 5 products and service clusters that we use as our main proof points, as our real selling points into market. The Protea itself is a resilient plant. It is also the national flower, connected to South Africa, connected to origin. Quite important to think about, brands that have done this well in the past. If you look at a study that was done in the past, 3 bars of lavender soap were given to people and they had the choice of a no-name brand, a bar of soap from France and one from Provence, and they chose Provence. And so we needed to start thinking about visually, what does that look like? How do we have a inspiring story to tell visually when we talk about the Cape in terms of products and services? And so the beautiful Made in the Cape Protea icon was developed. And it's just one part of the white label collateral that's been developed in terms of the campaign. We then moved into a brand story and then needed to look at, okay, so we have this beautiful identity, but how do we take the products and services into market in what is essentially a new way of marketing this type of service? So previously, in an undigitized world, there would be a very different way to matchmake buyers and sellers. But what we've seen now is we have the innovation of the Cape Trade Portal. We've seen the global shift to digitization, and you now have a different way of accessing. And I think that is going to become even more important in the future in terms of the scale, scope, and speed that we can take products and services into market. and really the beauty of the Cape Trade Portal and the innovation that the team has, brought to fruition. So we needed to look at what is the newest way of attracting buyers to our products. So we embarked on using Google and LinkedIn through a targeted media campaign into the UK first. The UK is a very important source market for us in terms of products and services, but it is also a market that is familiar with us. So in many ways, some of the legwork has actually been done in terms of awareness, and we needed to move this audience from awareness to consideration right down to convert on the Cape Trade Portal. And so in terms of our collateral, there were very specific performance metrics associated with the collateral, but not just performance metrics. There was a balance between building long-term brand love around Made in the Cape and driving buyers in a targeted way to the trade portal to have those matchmaking sessions with Cape exporters and to generate leads for the unit itself. We've seen this method work before. We know that this is a much faster, much more targeted way into market. We are seeing the results of this effort. We have had more than 10 million unique users reached in the UK alone, driving 130,000 clicks to the Cape Trade Portal from the UK. We are using this as our springboard into the US later on this year. And we really don't see Made in the Cape slowing down. We see this as a new way of marketing the diverse range of products and services that we have here in the Cape, and that Made in the Cape will become a much loved brand and synonymous with the quality, the innovation, sustainability stories that we have here in the province.